Right, well, back to cooking with legs. Doing Mediterranean chicken today. Very simple dish. One pan, 30 minutes in the oven, minimal cleanup, maximum flavor. The way I maximize that flavor for me is just a couple of tricks with fresh ingredients. You want to use fresh onion, you want to use fresh potato, you want to use fresh carrot. Simple, no problem. You want to use fresh chicken, no problem. But where it comes into play for me is using fresher ingredients as far as the seasonings go and the prep work. I do use as a base this Cavender's Greek seasoning. My mom turned me onto this years ago, and I love it. But I don't use it just out the can. I like to add stuff to it. Um, I like heat. I know a lot of people like spicy. Mediterranean cuisine typically does have some spice to it, especially pimento wheater or your crushed red pepper. So I'm going to add that to it. I'm going to add some cayenne pepper to it. I'm going to add some fresh garlic. I'm going to add some fresh basil. I'm also going to add some onion powder, some garlic powder, some oregano to it. And basically, this is more of a baseline for me. And then I add stuff to it to give the flavor profile I want out of it. Um, from there, we're going to take the chicken. We're going to season under the skin as well, and the skin itself. We're going to roll it in a little bit of olive oil and let that sit for a couple of hours. And then when it's time to bake it, we're going to pull it out, throw it on a baking pan with some mini potatoes, some oblique chopped carrot, and some rough chopped onion, and some more garlic, and some more of the seasoning we're going to make. So I'll show you right now what I do to make the seasoning. Um, my version of the seasoning blend anyway. You take it from what you want. You do take how you make turn this into how you want to do it. You don't like it as spicy, don't use much red pepper. Don't use much crushed red pepper or cayenne. You want it a little sweeter, add a little more basil, add a little more garlic. You turn it into what you want. It's just kind of an idea. So anyway, let me get started with doing that real quick. You see, I already chopped up the garlic, and was basically one bulb of garlic that I just went ahead and chopped up because it's all going to get used. If it's not used in the seasoning mix, it's going to get used when we're doing the actual chicken. Just take the mortar and pestle, or if you want to use a coffee grinder, that's fine too. Um, for this, I like using the mortar and pestle over the coffee grinder, and just put a healthy bit of this in there. Don't be shy to use a lot because it's going to be for the vegetables and the chicken, so you're going to use quite a bit of it. And I'm going to add probably about half the garlic. The other half I'll use on the chicken directly. So we're going to shove the garlic underneath the skin of the chicken. And also add some crushed red pepper. A little bit of cayenne. Like that much cayenne. The garlic powder. Onion powder. Oregano. And some fresh basil, which I have right off the tree right here. Yeah, I like growing my own herbs whenever I can. Um, Kind of not as easy to do up here in Ohio as it was down in Louisiana, but where there's a will, there's a way. Thankfully, it's summer right now, so the ground's not frozen, so we can have things sprout. From here, just take your mortar and pestle and give it all a good mix up. Make sure that everything's incorporated, and then get the oils. With the oil, you want to get when you're doing this, you want to make sure you get the oils out of the garlic and out of the basil. So I'm going to rough this up real quick with the mortar and pestle, and we'll show you what the finished product looks like in a minute. And this is what we ended up with right here. It's all crushed up. It's all combined. The oils are all released and everything. So from here, what we're going to do, we're going to get the chicken out. We're going to pat it dry. We're going to put the chicken in a bowl, pour a little bit of olive oil on it, put some of the seasoning on there. Make sure we get some seasoning under the skin, along with this fresh garlic that's left over. So let's get that done, and we're going to set that on the side in the fridge for a couple of hours until it's ready to cook. All right, so we have the chicken here dried. We patted it dry. I'm going to go ahead and just get a little bit of neutral oil on there, whatever one you like to use. Not a whole lot. I'm going to take some garlic, rub it down with the garlic. It's left over, just take all of it really. Throw that in there. Put some of it under the skin of the chicken. I want to make sure that we get all the chickens under their skin with the garlics and some fresh basil leaves. Almost just going to look like a hodgepodge of stuff in there. Let's do this way. Make life a little easy for us. Then throw at least half of that seasoning that we made. I'll put that in there. Make sure you reserve some for the potatoes and the carrots later. Should be good right there. Put all of that in. If you have to give it a little more oil, don't be afraid. You want it damp to the touch, not soaking wet or submerged in oil. You take it and make sure you put some of that underneath the skin of the chicken. You don't want just the skin to have flavor, you want the meats to have the flavor. At the bottom you see some of this collect, just kind of like that, underneath the skin. I'll finish doing this real quick, and we're going to put it in the fridge. So when you get this done, put it in the fridge. Just let it sit till we're ready to cook. You can let this sit for 24 hours. It's going to sit for about, time is it? 12 hours. Or not 12, I'm sorry. My math is bad. 10 hours. Alright, so we're about to go ahead and put everything in the oven. First thing we're going to do is get the veg prep. I've got in here some onion, some carrot, some potato, obviously, and some sweet red bell pepper, along with some garlic in here that's cut up already. I'm just going to go ahead and put some olive oil on it. And for this, you do want to use the good stuff. I'm going to take that leftover seasoning from earlier, that in there. Just give it all a nice mix. Make sure the seasoning and the oil's kind of covered over everything. The baking pan, ready greased, lined with foil. Drop the chicken in there. Now, take an onion, a lemon, and onion, the mash.
Could you push this together?
Yeah, we're just going to squeeze the lemon on top. So this is going to go in for 30 minutes, 400 degrees, and we'll check the temperature. It should be about 165 at the thickest point of the thigh. It may have to go a little longer. If so, not much longer. So just use that as your judgment when you're doing this. At least 30 minutes, probably closer to 40 when it's all said and done.